Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and non-binary friends. Welcome to the Friend or Foe Luna series. We have got some exciting games coming up today. This first one that we're going to be kicking it off with is Blue Bayou Zoo versus Church of Alfonso. I am your friendly neighborhood Shoutcaster Shargan, and I've got Lolo joining me here on the caster's desk. Lolo, why don't you go and tell them exactly why this match is so hype?
Hi Shargan. I'm very excited for this one in particular. BBZ and COF at the moment, both standing at 8-4. It's all to play for at the moment. First is still in contention in the Lunar League. However, it falls on one of these teams. I believe COF to get the win here, and then HBK and UB to do worse later in the evening. So it's tough. I mean, if BBZ win here, then they do manage to lock themselves at least a tie for third, I believe. So the standings really do matter as we move our way into playoffs. But, well, first, before we talk about that, we have to see who's going to get a win here, and then it'll look a little bit clearer. So let's get into the bands.
Yeah, getting into these bands, we've got some really nice knockoffs here with the Zach Trundle bands, as well as the Kog'Maw and a Mumu. Church of Alfonso making the smart play of, if we're not on blue side, we need to ban the Amumu, because otherwise they're going to pick it.
It's so good right now. It's actually disgusting. Well, with BBZ locking in first pick Jarvan, we've seen quite a lot of this in the league already. It is still an extremely strong pick, has a lot of early gank potential, is great in team fights. On the other side, COF, the GP, we've seen this gone mid on RHC before and be absolutely devastating. So there is a potential flex into the mid lane here. It's something that BBZ are going to have to watch out for, I think. And of course, the Ziggs still very strong in the bot lane. It does provide a lot of AoE damage between the Mega Inferno Bomb and Cannon Barrage in fights. So yeah, already we can get an idea of what COF are going to look for here. They're going to be looking for some big, explosive kind of team fight plays with lots of AoE damage. And on the other side, yeah, BBZ, we're going to see an Ezreal here. I don't think we're going to see a Teemo. I mean, we saw Teemo mid earlier in the day, making Showmaker's life very miserable, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, that's true. It's kind of funny how Teemo will just tend to show up when you least expect him to. I do like this pick of the Ezreal as well to counteract the Ziggs, get you some nice poke. Morgana in addition, so they're expecting this to go to this bot lane. Just basically they want to kind of make it a little bit so they don't have to worry about the Ziggs as much, keep him from doing Ziggs things and from taking those towers too quickly. That is going to put a nice timer on the game. With the GP pickup though, I was talking with someone the other day and they were saying that Gangplank really isn't in the best of positions. He's not weak, but basically if you don't know how to play him, you're going to basically be gambling on your barrels anyway. Because that's where all his damage is in, is that crit. So it's going to take him a couple items to come online to really start blasting people away. But he is melee, so it does play into the Sejuani. So as we look at these upcoming bans right here, we got the Lissandra taken away from Red. We have seen Red pull some crazy plays. We saw Theracles the other day doing some absolutely fantastic work on Lissandra. However, unfortunately, just there was no follow-up available for him. And so that's always the hardest part.
Yeah, it is, of course, if they do want to be playing, if Red does want to be looking to play something like a LeBlanc or a, well, we're going to see a lot of, we'll just, as we can see here, I think BBZ has a kind of an idea of what COF are looking to go for. I mean, it isn't particularly, elusive. We've got the Sejuani for the lockdown with the Glacial Prism. We have a lot of AoE damage, as I said previously. They're trying to make it so that with that top lane, I mean, because this could be flexed mid, they still have to worry about the top lane with the Shen. They don't want to see a massive global sort of incoming strike, which eliminates some of those options there. Now, the Alistar, Beshuoppa's absolutely smurfed with Alistar previously in the league, so this is something that BBZ are definitely going to have to watch out for. The Morgana does do quite a good job of keeping away some of the engage, but even so, he is going to be a real factor in fights. There are so many different engage options for COF, and we do see a Diana coming in here. This looks like it might go in the mid lane, actually. With the Jake already.
Exactly. I agree with you that Diana mid lane is probably a good pickup. I think it's a decent pick into this gangplank. It's going to allow them to dive onto GP. Even with all those barrels up, it's going to make it so risky. And we're going to have to see if Jaffe's Gnar is able to stand up to Joshi's.
Yes, absolutely. Joshi, of course, pretty devastating Gnar himself, but yeah, we do want to see, there is quite a lot of, I suppose, wombo combo potential on the side of BBZ as well. We've talked about what COF can do with the Orianna, of course, the Shockwave. We've got a Sejuani that can, and an Alistar that can just deliver the ball right into the enemy team. So just more explosive AoE.
Yeah, she only has 2 real main delivery systems, though, with the Alistar and the Sejuani, so it's going to be playing around both of them. But we have seen Orianna do some crazy stuff, so we're going to have to hop in onto the Rift and see exactly how this game starts to play out.
Yeah, absolutely. Who do you like so far, Sharagan? Because at the moment, I think I am somewhat favoring the COF comp just because of the, because of the execution and the amount of engage they have. I feel that, I'm not sure. I mean, it's hard to say, but I think just that they have a lot of global pressure, which I suppose is something that, whilst we do have a couple of TPs on the side of BBZ, there's just 3 on the side of COF.
Well, honestly, I like BBZ's comp in that it's a little bit easier to execute. You've basically they are going to be looking for these team fights in order to basically just throw somebody into a wall, jump on them with Diana, and pepper them away, like just keep peppering away with as much damage as possible. It is going to be really, really tough as we get farther into this game because the Gangplank, the Orianna, and the Ziggs are going to start coming online, and that damage that they're going to be outputting is going to be so disgusting, especially against all of the squishies that are on BBZ.
Yeah, and if we think about the damage profile here, of course, I mean, the GP, he really makes up for the lack of AD elsewhere on the side of COF in spades. He does so much damage, as you said, later into the game, once he's got a couple of items online with the barrels. So whilst otherwise, this Jarvan and this Gnar can be stacking quite a lot of MR for the rest of the team, they still have to worry about those barrels coming in.
And it is important to point out that this Gangplank did end up going top, just because we didn't touch on that yet. So it is going to be versus the Gnar. I'm not exactly sure how the Gnar matchup plays into a Gangplank, but my guess is that it's not particularly well.
I mean, the Gnar obviously gets, it's ultimately, as I say that, you've got to be dodging those meshes.
You hit the horn, and sometimes you take it because as Alistar, you're so tanky, it doesn't really matter. So you just keep hitting that cowbell.
Yeah, absolutely. He's just vibing at the moment. I think he's not too... We know what COF are like. COF are just vibing here. They're really just here to play poker.
Yep. I know I've said it before, but I hate that Alistar skin. I hate it so much. It taunts me. It taunts me in my sleep.
Well, I suppose the thing is, Beshi can just kind of do this because ultimately they don't mind very much getting pushed in. I mean, the Ziggs is just going to clear waves, and he's looking to scale up anyway. As you mentioned previously, COF do have a very nicely scaling comp, so they don't have to do too much in the early game by comparison to BBZ, who do, the Ezreal, of course, does scale very well, the Diana as well, but the Jarvan is going to be looking to make more proactive plays early,
Yeah.
whereas Graviel can really just kind of chill out, you know, just continue to farm.
We got a
As I
flash
say
coming
that,
up from BBZ. They're already going in onto this Orphic, trying to get him taken down before he has a chance to bring on that Black Shield. The Ignite did come out, so they are going to survive just barely. Good job on Orphic to keep themselves going.
Yeah, the heal having to come out from Tef there to keep Orphic alive. And Beshi, I mean, he's got Hex Flash, so it was a very nice little pulverized headbutt back into the tower. They're kind of, you know, they've got a bit of advantage on this wave now. And I mean, this, as I said, the Ziggs has TP, so he's just kind of, he's quite happy to do more or less, you know, what, just sit here and clear. In the meantime, it does look like the topside scuttle. There's going to be a little bit of a scuffle around there.
Yep, getting a nice scuffle right over here as Dax taking a decent amount of damage, getting a good knock-up onto Graviel. Graviel getting exceptionally low. He's going to go down. His first blood goes over to Diana. We got two flashes coming out as Paytime and RHC are both trying to pick up a kill here. Jarvan going to go down as well, so Dax has fallen. But at the same time, Red trying to keep this fight going. He's baiting it out. RHC kind of falling for it. Jaffe getting a couple of good hits on. Red able to go over the wall, get onto Paytime, pick himself up a kill. That is another one going down as RHC picks up another, and that is basically going to be 2 for 2 trades.
It is, and it's going to be onto Red and onto RHC. The gangplank's already
blast from Beshiwap right there.
Yeah. It's going to be, I mean, it's a little bit of a shame that Jaffe, it took him so long to rotate round because of the wave state, and he had to burn the Mega Gnar before getting into the fight, so there was no way he would be able to chase down RHC after he picked up those kills. But ultimately, it is going to put Red pretty far ahead in this lane. Now he's going to be coming back with his little...
Yep. Jaffe getting some decent damage off, but Gangplank just basically running up and smacking him in the face.
Yeah, he's got the Corrupting Potion, so he's very happy to trade his life bar there. Yeah, this is going to be so difficult for Paytime now to walk up with Red already having that Hex Tech Flash Traption or something online. So it used to be called, you know, it used to be the Gunblade thing, but obviously not anymore.
Yeah.
And Beshi is just, he's got the Hex Flash, of course, so they're kind of, this is really kind of quite difficult for the BBZ bot lane to play around. I mean, they are quite squishy. The Ezreal, of course, can get away from potential engages, but Orphic, he's already had to burn his flash, so he's in a pretty sticky situation right now. He really doesn't want to get engaged on.
He doesn't, and I think honestly, like looking at that fight, so we were saying that Red was able to get themselves a little bit ahead. I do think that the kill distribution though is just an advantage onto BBZ. It's going to work out a little bit better in their favor. So we'll have to see exactly how that ends up playing out. But like we've said, these comps both prefer mid-late game fighting rather than these early fights, though that Jarvan did a lot of work.
And interestingly, no one has burned a TP so far. I mean, no one has tried to, in fact, reset the wave. We can see that Jaffe's just going to walk up because he did manage to get a push in. And everyone, as the bot lane for COF resets, and we do have a Cloud Drake sitting there, which neither team, there is vision in the river for COF, but neither team seems particularly interested in contesting at the moment. But all of those TPs are online, so we could see a fairly explosive fight coming out soon enough if someone does decide to pull the trigger on that Drake. But for the time being, I mean, Graviel's nowhere near mid lane, so Paytime's just got to sort of sit here and take it, and that's going to give Dax an opportunity to wrap around.
Yeah, Dax right now looking to get some invasion going on this bot side. He's going to get some vision down, get a good idea of what's going on in that jungle. He might be looking to take this Cloud Drake early and just kind of get it out of the way. But at the same time, we already have Sejuani starting to move in that direction. So it'll be really interesting to see exactly how this starts to play out because we can see that Red is pushed up.
He is, yeah. And it's going to be, Paytime's just got to sit here, but on the other side,
we got a pinch right here. BBZ walking right past Graviel. Has no idea he's waiting in that bush.
Yeah, and they are going to try to take the invade onto the blue. There's quite a lot of advantage here. I mean, Beshiwap's nowhere nearby, so...
There is a huge advantage. We have the dash smite coming out from Graviel as they do manage to take it.
Missing pings coming in from COF there. They're kind of happy with that one. I mean, they are going to have to give up the Drake for that, but, you know, it's a little bit of a win there. Graviel managed to pick up his own blue with four players on BBZ's side committed to that invade.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I have to wonder if that was the team questioning why he dashed in and smited for it, kind of risking for it, because it does, like you said, it gave up the Drake. But again, first two Drakes, kind of not the highest priority. They're not going to get you what you need. Keeping Sejuani from falling behind this Jarvan and CS is way more important, and they're already ahead, so you don't want that gap closing.
Yeah, and As we've seen already, Beshiwop is happy to roam around the map. I mean, he's the Alistair, he's the one going to be looking to make plays, whereas Orphic, not going to have quite the same impact. He's having to stick in this lane and just try to get the push in, whereas Cold Blast is just kind of chilling. I mean, he still has his TP available. If anything happens, he's got his flash. And Red here.
Ooh. Getting a nice smack with the flare right there. BBZ Red diving in on Paytime, couldn't get some extra damage, though. There comes the Moonlight Strike. Lots of damage onto Paytime, but they're going to get shut down as we see Graviel picking up that kill with the Permafrost.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just not quite enough damage for Red just yet to be able to turn that at least into a 1v1. Great for Paytime, though. He manages to sort of even up the lane state and get himself a base off, and that's just going to get more pockets in, put more into Graviel's pocket. He's going to get advantage in the river and is going to go and take the Herald.
Yeah, it was really unfortunate that Red died right there. However, down here in the bot lane, we do have the wave state kind of evening back up and starting to push back under the tower because Tef and Orphic have basically kind of probably figured out, oh, we probably shouldn't be pushing under Ziggs at all times because that's just going to make it easy for Sedge to gank us. And in the meantime, up here in the top scene, RHC just absolutely wrecking this wave.
Yeah, he is, and this just benefits the GP. He's just getting... His laning can be quite difficult if he's into something very aggressive, but the Gnar doesn't have much kill pressure early when he's building relatively tanky, so... yeah, he's just going to happy to sit here and clear, and obviously, if something does happen, he's going to be the one who's going to be able to pull the trigger and stay in lane.
I think we've got a trigger being pulled right here. We have a flash coming up from RIC. He does dodge the Cataclysm, which means that we've got the Gangplank ultimate coming down right now on top of Dex, trying to get the slow off, but it's going to be a little bit wide, so we dropped a little early. The rest of COF have come up here as well. We have the TP coming out from Cold Blaster joining this top side, which is basically going to make it really easy for the bot lane to just shove up, and Gangplank, RHC, taking damage from Jarvan while we've got a fight going on down in the bot part of this top lane, and that is just a lot of damage in a lot of different directions that is just all starting to flow in the direction of Blue Bayou.
What did COF committing way too hard to that top lane play? I mean, once the Cataclysm got out and RHC...
Ooh, good binding right there.
Once RHC was able to get away from that Cataclysm, then he pops the Cannon Barrage a little bit early, so it doesn't get much value off, and then they just continue to chase once Cold Blaster's committed with the TP. And yeah, this is giving so much to the BBZ bot lane, who managed to get under tower, get a plate or two, and just continue the push, which is now going to have to be answered. And yeah, they got huge amount of value off of that. Jaffe manages to pick up a kill, Dax manages to pick up a kill, and already we can see a 1k gold lead swinging in the favor of BBZ.
Yeah, that is a tower plate already over to the side of BBZ. That's going to basically equalize. That's going to increase the gold lead that Ezreal has already started to build for themselves over this Ziggs. So we might end up seeing a situation where Ziggs is just going to be stuck in a side lane rather than joining these team fights and joining these sieges on these towers, because that's the only way for them to stay in the game.
This is interesting. We're seeing a very quick Essence Reaver coming out from RHC right here. This build... It's interesting. It used to be a very standard pick to go into the first item Essence Reaver. You don't see it quite as much nowadays from what I've seen, but it does provide a huge amount of early power spike with the crit damage. So
yeah, which is where all of his damage is. All of the damage for Gangplank is in his crit damage on those barrels. So you need to get yourself as close to 100% as quickly as possible. I can kind of understand why he would choose to do that, but by foregoing his mythic, he is delaying that power spike pretty drastically.
And as we can see, the vision control over the bot side river as the Drake, the Ocean Drake. We have a moment to predict the Cloud Soul. Sorry, the Soul, by the way. I don't know why I say Cloud.
I have a feeling it's going to be an Infernal Soul.
Infernal. I'll join you on that one, Sharigan. I think if it is, then this plays very nicely into both comps with the amount of burst damage sitting there, particularly on the side of COF. But either way, they are going to be looking to contest vision in the river. Bot lane is split up here.
They're going to be basically Beshiwap trying to bait this out, force a fight over a ward, which is often how these support games go. That's going to be the Black Shield and the ultimate coming out from Morgana. It's not going to be able to secure a root or a kill, unfortunately, and that is going to be the missed ultimate from Graviel as well. Basically, all of COF is starting to commit. That's two ultimates down, though. The ultimate Shockwave coming out from Orianna, as well as the Cannon Barrage perfectly placed. Look at the way that interacted right there, pulling him right back under those cannon shots, and he's going to get taken down. That is another kill going over to this top lane from across the map, which is just one of the things that makes gameplay so frustrating.
It really is, and that was beautifully played, honestly, from all the members of COF, really. We see Paytime waiting in the bush to get himself off a perfect two-man shockwave, then the follow-up from Graviel, lock them in place, the cannon barrage on top, and even when Red tries to jump in, as I say that...
Orphic trying to do something, but he just gets caught out by this red buff, bounced around like a bowling ball, and he's just gonna... unfortunately have to back away, and that is going to be a lost red buff going over to Church of Alfonso. Really good use of taking that Drake and then just kind of using their pressure to get themselves some extra stuff on the map.
Yeah, BBZ had to burn all of their flashes now in that previous exchange. We saw Tef when he was starting to get run down by the Alistair and the Ziggs after they'd already gotten the pick onto Orphic. Pretty rough, you know. He had to burn both Arcane Shift and Flash to get out of there, and then the follow-up as well. This is really playing into COF's hands. It's not just the Drake. I mean, they've pulled the gold lead back in their favor, but also, as we said, just the GP getting another kill. The Leandri's now online from the Ziggs. And
GP advantage is still on the side of Gnar for BBZ and on the side of Paytime for COF. Though Red is starting to get theirs back here shortly, so that does mean that we'll see a little bit more global pressure from Blue Bayou available for them to use in these upcoming team fights. Unfortunate that the Drake went down already, so we'll have to see if they try to use it around this Rift Herald.
And the Moonfall is up, but Red is just... Paytime is now pretty, you know, he's looking a lot more aggressive than he was previously after Red picked up a couple of early kills. He's able to get the push off very easily in this lane now. The poke coming out from him is pretty nasty, especially combined with that corrupting potion.
The nature of Orianna, she's got that last chapter, so she doesn't have to worry about mana. Got the blasting wand for the damage. We do see that the Hextech Rocket Belt is already set up on the side of Red, so they do have the extra mobility. But the thing is, having extra mobility doesn't matter when you don't have a health bar.
And Cold Blaster is already looking to try to siege that bot tier 1. He's got the satchel charge, so it can't be too far away now from picking up that first turret blood, which is just more bold into his pocket.
Yeah.
And we're going to be having to roam up,
Yeah, we're going to be looking for BBZ. They're already starting to force a fight over by this Rift Herald. They've already started to take it. Orphic doing a decent job of zoning them off. We do see that there's a control order there. We got the Cataclysm coming out onto RHC. They're taking advantage of the fact that there is a flash that was used by RHC, so they waited and got that out. We do see over here, though, the fight is continuing. Red getting a good job jumping onto Paytime. A lot of damage coming out from the Diana right there. Fall was used during that fight, so it's not available here, but that is 4 members of BBZ available to take this Rift Herald, and we've got the rest of COF starting to come up here and try and commit to sealing it. Graviel getting a little spicy. The smite came down really early to try and get this thing taken out before the reset, but they weren't able to do it.
No, and ultimately it just ends up a couple of kills in the favor of BBZ right there, but Tef as well, I mean, this is a lot of value. He's going to be able to get himself a push in, as Cold Blast had to walk all the way up to the Herald pit, and when he finally got the Mega Inferno bomb out, it missed everyone. So just much better played on the side of BBZ in that fight. You saw Red be able to get the pick onto Paytime, who was cut off from the fight, and on the other side, a great engage onto RHC. Really nice bit of team fighting.
Catching out Beshiwap in the jungle, getting knocked back by the Alistair, and Beshi just trying to run away.
Yeah, and Beshi...
hello,
what is Jaffe doing there?
Jaffe getting a little bit spicy, using the blast cone to throw his enemies away. They're going to go back into this Rift Herald, but really smart play. They're basically trying to say, hey, you want to keep us from taking this Rift Herald instead of trying to get a turret. Well, they're just going to keep sending Ezreal to the bot lane. Orianna burned her TP to stop Ez from taking that bot lane turret. Oh, but they aren't able to do it quick enough. Red manages to get it first. Or Red team gets it first. Zig gets it.
Yeah. Ziggs gets it, and I mean, Paytime looks like he's about to pick up one for himself as well.
Ooh, Shockwave doing a lot of damage on Tef. Tef not able to jump out in time. Arcane Shift not able to get him far enough away. Paytime taking a couple of shots to the face, though. The TP's coming out, and that is a lot of damage, though, that Paytime is able to pick up the kill before Jaffe gets there, but Jaffe's going to get the revenge boomerang smack on the back of Orianna's head.
I think ultimately, I mean, that's worth for Paytime. He manages to pick himself up a kill in a tower. He does not have TP. He does manage to get Jaffe's TP as well, and RHC can just pick himself up a tier 1 also. Nice bit of cross-mapping there.
All 3 tier 1 turrets for BBZ just got taken out. That is the worst possible thing that could have happened during all that.
It is, absolutely.
They have no glow. Their pressure is basically neutralized at this point. Due to the fact that Ziggs is just going to start shredding through the rest of these inner tier turrets. You've got 2 members of BBZ trying to look for this Infernal Drake, but already COF is set up and ready to start going.
They are. Oh, we're going to see a TP.
Gangplank has TP. He's joining this. He's not going to let them get too far away, so he's just going to barrel push this mid lane.
They are able to get the bot tier 1 in the meantime, but that's a bit of value.
The early damage from that Cold Blaster ultimate, Ziggs just throwing the Mega Inferno Bomb, and it's just doing so much. There is no way that this Infernal Drake is going to survive for very long. Dax is probably going to have to look for some kind of a steal here, but they just have no vision on the pit. It's all being done blind, although he dives and manages to pick up the smite. The Cataclysm's going to lock the rest of COF in there, so they're not able to get any revenge kills. Way to go, Dax!
And you called it, by the way, Sharagan. It is an Infernal Soul. And
I did. We did.
Yeah.
We did.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'll take a little bit of that credit, T.Y. Anyway, I mean, great play from Dax there. He does manage to... That is a nice win condition. I mean, the Infernal Soul, so much value, particularly onto, well, this Diana, this Ezreal. I think overall, I mean, that COF aren't going to get too much off of this by the jungler being down. There is no Herald or anything for them to take just yet. So, yeah, no, great play from him. He timed it perfectly. It does mean, however, that we are going to see, well, quite a lot of commitment up here on the top side towards the second Herald from COF.
Graviel is don't know if they're going to be able to take it in time. We've got 30 seconds till Baron's up. It's going to be really tight.
Good. Yeah, it's so good. I think it's actually already gone. That's just me. In the meantime, oh boy. In the meantime, well, Lofix putting on a bit of pressure. I mean, he's managed to secure himself quite a lot of vision up there in the top side river, which they weren't able to sweep out. So, yeah, as you said, they aren't going to be able to. You know, they do have a very fast Baron if they do decide to commit 5 members to it, but they are.
I was going to say, so one thing to look at, like with Orphic, is he did build himself a Dark Seal, but he's not been able to pick up any kills or assists lately. And so as a result, he's not getting a whole lot of value out of it, and he's a little bit behind on his items. As we can see, he is working his way towards finishing that Mythic, and then we're probably going to be seeing a Zonia's coming out shortly, but it's just, that gold is going to be really important because he doesn't have that stopwatch right now.
And important to note as well, as we said previously, now that our HC is sitting on his shield bow on top of the Essence Reaver, it is going to be doing a huge amount of damage with that 8. You see how much damage those barrels are doing. And no armor stacked at all on the side of BBZ, because of all of this AP threat coming in from the Ziggs and the Orianna. So he's just going to be able to get more and more value out of it. He's got the Executioners as well to deal with this Gore Drinker. And he's going to be the one to watch out for, I think, in the fights. I mean, the engage is there from the Alistar and the Sejuani. And of course, there's the Shockwave and the Mega Inferno Bomb. But it's the barrels and the Cannon Barrage are the ones that are going to be blowing them up real quickly.
Yeah, and that's the way COF's going to be playing this. Is they're going to go for that bursty damage. So it's basically if BBZ is able to survive the initial stages of the fight, as long as they keep walking around those barrels and they keep avoiding getting caught by the second set that Gangplank's going to be dropping down, they should be able to survive a lot of these fights, and Ezreal should be able to get some damage off. It's just going to be so risky. It's basically, it's like Muhammad Ali fighting Mike Tyson, where Ali's got the speed, but Tyson just has that power where it's like if it just hits you once, you're just going to get rocked.
Yeah, we'll have to see how much BBC can play rope-a-dope on this. And if we talk about the Ezreal on the other side, Tepes have to go towards his
we got a dive right here. It looks like we've got Paytime jumping on there. Cataclysm is going to come out. Alistar jumping inside, trying to help out. Orianna is able to do a lot of work right there. We do see that Ezreal gets caught out by the Cannon Barrage, and extra sources of damage is going to go down. Double kill is going to go over to Sejuani as they pick up yet another one. Red trying to find something to make this work. They're going to get stunned by the Permafrost as the auto attack CC just comes out, and that is going to be COF forcing BBZ away as we start to see why their comp becomes really scary if Sejuani's available to help out.
Insane, and of course the Cannon Barrage there completely deterring the dive. And as you said, the Sejuani, Graviel just following up, managing to lock them all in place, the Shockwave. It's so hard. Cold Blaster wasn't even there for that fight. He's still got the Mega Inferno Bomb. He was just able to just chill and like get himself a push in the top side. They've got priority on this Drake that's spawning in 40 seconds time, which they will be wanting to fight for because, they don't want to be giving away that Infernal Soul point to the side of BBZ. So, yeah, it's so hard to actually engage on this comp because of all of that AoE damage that they have. And I mean, if they are going to be able to get a pick, it's probably going to have to be a big engage from Jaffe and then follow up from Red. And Dax, of course, if he's able to pick that up as well. But even if they do all of that, the Sedge is very tanky. It'll have to be onto RHC and Paytime or to Cold Blaster. And it's so hard to get on them with the peel that these tanks have.
Yes, there's so much peel on the side of COF, and just the amount of the amount of global map damage that Gangplank provides with that cannon barrage is insane. We see right there, almost managing to pick it up. Ezreal with the ultimate right there, not quite able to do it. He is on the Mana Moon still. He just evolved it into Muramana, so now he should have some extra damage, should be able to come online a little bit more. That is going to be so crucial for them here. Because as we were talking about earlier, COF's going to get stronger the farther along they go in this. Look at that, just dropping the cannon barrage to keep them from even getting a turret.
It's a bit like you used to see with, of course, Ziggs with them.
Orphic dropping the ultimate. They don't have Zhonya's though, so they're going to go down and get bursted out before it has a chance to pop off and get the root. And that is going to be a nice shockwave that doesn't actually manage to hit anybody. Good dodge though by Dex, but it's not going to matter. BBZ does not have the resistances. They don't have the health bar to continue this fight. They are completely caught out. COF just completely shredding their front line and getting onto the back line and decimating them. They are just draining that swamp.
I mean, the Shockwave didn't hit anybody, but it really didn't matter. I mean, what was kind of tragic there was that Red went in for the Moonfall and died just before the Moonfall actually popped off. So he might have been able to pick himself up something there, but either way, it doesn't matter. The cannon barrage from the other side not even needed. RHC just TPs into the fight late just to be there for the Baron. And this team can split push so effectively, they don't even need all 5 members there at all in order to make things happen. And I mean, they're winning fights more or less 4v5, 4v4 at the moment very easily. So with that, the Baron's going to go down. We're going to see the gold lead balloon to just over 6k. And it's now, I mean, the split push is just going to continue from RHC. He doesn't have the TP anymore, but the cannon barrage will be online in not too long. So he's just going to be chilling there. And BBZ, they're going to have to move more as a unit, I think, in order to contest them in fights.
Well, that's the thing, and that's what BBZ's been doing. They've been moving as a unit, but it doesn't matter because the Sejuani and the Alistar provide such a strong front line that it doesn't matter if it's just Ziggs or Orianna there. They're able to get off a lot of damage because there's no way to get to them. And then you just have Gangplank providing extra damage from across the map with that cannon barrage, or he's got his TP up, so he's able to just come join the fight himself. So that it basically doesn't matter if it's a 5v3 for BBZ. They're just not able to kill COF quick enough.
No, and
you got a flash dash out there. Ziggs coming out. He's going to get caught inside the Cataclysm, though, but he's not going to go down quickly. That is going to be him finally getting shaken out by the Jarvan. The Arcane Barrage did come out. Shockwave managed to actually grab Tef, doing a lot of damage to him in the meantime. You have RHC taking him down. Graviel was on the back line, though, just doing some work protecting his allies as he managed to take down Diana. And this is the problem. BBZ is trying to get through the front line, but it's just so hard for them to do it that the rest of COF is able to stop them or take them out before they can actually do any work. Beshiwap getting exceptionally low and going to fall to Orphic because they got a little cheeky. Just a little bit of an overextend. You don't need to do that, Beshi. We already know how good you are. And that is going to be COF picking up this inhibitor. And they've already got the Baron, so they're absolutely getting their value out of that. And Gangplank's just going to push this bot lane, take this bot lane turret.
Yeah, and with him on the split push in the bot side previously, I mean, it took him a little while to roam up, but he already locked the cannon barrage in to deny any follow-up. After Dax did get a beautiful Cataclysm onto Cold Blast and take him out of the fight, but the follow-up was just there. The Shockwave came out and took Tef for half health immediately, then the cannon barrage denying any potential follow-up. Then Beshiwap is able to go back in and... Oh, Dax.
Dax
Mate, you're
is
3 levels down, mate.
He's 3 levels down. He's going to get hit a lot of his stuff taken by a random barrel that he just was not expecting. See, here's the thing that RHC has basically done. He has shown that his gangplank, even though it's halfway across the map, it doesn't matter. He's involved in every single fight. And it's like, it's absolutely ridiculous. He's already got 9 kill participation, so he's got over 50%. And basically, that is all he needs to just put on this pressure in these side lanes.
He's pretty fed. He's just backed and got himself an Infinity Edge, which means that the crit damage from these barrels is going to be monstrous at the moment. Anything that isn't the Nara or possibly the Jarvan is going to take a fat wad of damage from that. And the Drake is spawning in 30 seconds, and BBZ are going to try to contest in the river, but I'm not sure who can walk up at the moment, realistically.
I don't know if anyone on BBZ really can or should be walking into this Dragon Pit. They're going to try and force the fight because they know that it puts them on soul point. Hex Flash coming out. Cheeky one again by Beshi. Beshi just kind of trolling a little bit right here. He's going to jump right onto Morgana, knocking him up and gonna completely burst out before they have a chance to actually do anything. So Orphic is out of this fight, which means that the main engage, like, there's nothing BBZ can do at this point. Like, they can't do squat.
No, it's so hard for them. I mean, the gold lead is now sitting at almost 10k. This is going to be an Infernal Soul on the side of COF. Baron isn't up, so you know, they can't get more from this, but no one can contest in the mid lane right now. They're just going to have to walk all the way away. Beshiwop can literally frontline on his own. He can walk up and be a threat and just chill, hit the cowbell a little bit, and everyone's got to run away from him. He's having a whale of a time, man.
He's having an absolute whale of a time, just wailing on these blokes, and it's just getting a lot of damage off. Right here, we're going to see they weren't able to take the mid turret earlier. They should have been able to. I don't know why they didn't. And unfortunately, that is going to fall, which is going to leave this next inhibitor exposed, which Church of Alfonso is totally fine to do. They don't mind dragging this game out because the longer this game goes, the stronger they're going to become. Diana is like, this gangplank is just disgusting. Any CC you throw on him, he's just basically negating. Look at that damage. Look at that. That is what I'm talking about. That RHC just doing so much with those barrels. There's nothing you can do to stop him. You get hit by those, you are gone.
I want to see what's going on up there. I mean, he popped the shield bow a moment ago, but those watermelons pretty poisonous right now. He's still chilling. Yeah, he's going to eat himself. He's got all the fruits on deck right now. He's got the oranges. He's got the watermelons.
Gangplank, yeah, you're only supposed to put 1 bottle of vodka in a watermelon. You're not supposed to put multiple ones.
It's pretty... Yeah, it's a little bit inflammatory right now. Them watermelons. Either way, they managed to siege on the top tier 2 as well. RHC's, you know, he's not far off full build. He's just picked himself up a Lord Dominic's as well. And the Baron is coming up in 15 seconds. It does look like there's going to be a reset on the side of COF because they don't need to commit to it right now. They can reset, buy some more items. They've got...
So, I just want to say something about that Lord Dominic's. Why? Why are you hurting them so bad? What did they do to you? Those tanks are not going to last in these fights at all. Like, we're just going to see Dax take as much damage as Diana did just now. Their health bars are basically non-existent if they allow RHC to get any form of setup. He is such a huge threat right now. And we also, we cannot discount the Sejuani and the Orianna and the CC that they've been putting out. Shockwaves, stuns, knockups. It's just been absolutely disgusting from Church of Alfonso.
It is, and they've got all the vision they could want in the river right now. Dax is going to try for it, I think.
I am so scared with this. We've already got Gangplank dropping the cannon barrage on their own heads because they know that it's the best way for them to avoid an engage, but we see Dax taking the bait, going in there, just getting pummeled as he tries to do that. The shutdown on Orianna, as we see that Ezreal finally able to start putting up some work. Tef, are you going to be the one to save this game? Are you going to come online now? Because we see that he just absolutely shredded this backside of Church of Alfonso. And now that Graviel is getting exceptionally low, Tef getting some more damage. Jaffe getting a shutdown. They're chasing down the cow now. They're trying to get themselves some beef. And they jump over the wall. Beshi gets a knockup. Tef's still trying to go for this. The blast cone over the wall means that he's going to try and keep getting away, finally able to escape. But it doesn't matter because look at the side of Blue Bayou's base. They have lost a Nexus turret for all that.
Can we see how much gold that man was sitting on just a second ago? Oh, okay. He's already bought. I was going to say, he got himself like 3 humongous shutdowns in that fight, but he's been so starved the entire game that it really credit to Tef for doing so much work in that fight. You know, he does manage to get on the back line. Unfortunately, Red did get a great engage onto the back line himself, but just got bursted down too quickly. But Tef was there with the follow-up. He manages to kill RHC. I was a little bit worried for him for a second, but he gets RHC, he gets pay time. He manages to get at least 2 there and pick himself up a lot of gold. He's working his way towards the Surrealdas, but he has just, by comparison to the Ziggs, who's been able to, you know, farm turrets for free, he's really not had the items he's needed in order to kind of be the main source of damage, consistent damage that BBZ need in these fights. He does have a lot more on his plate now. It would be nice if he had the Surrealdas in time for this Infernal Soul point, but you can't have everything. He's going to reset. He might have Impact.
Oh, Red taking so much damage from RHC. They are able to get the Moonfall down, but it's not going to matter as we just see the Arrow just doing so much work. Orphic flashing out of the Infernal Mega Bomb, able to escape with their life. We see them trying to catch up Beshu up here. F is not here at the start of this fight, though, so that is going to be a really dangerous position because we've got the mid lane just shoving in. It's still got super minions, which means it's going to naturally push into BBZ's base. Basically, COF just kind of needs to wait in the wings and get themselves some picks. RHC, look at that. That is terrifying. That's almost as bad as a Teemo trap in a bush. Oh my goodness, look at that! He took Jeffy down to half health in a single strike! That's just gross!
He's got 100% crit, mate. He's they're not getting any easier to tank, unfortunately.
No, they are too much of the fruit right now. As much work as they can. We see them trying to stop the soul from going over to the side of Church of Alfonso, but unfortunately Dax is going to give him his life for that. We have Graviel chasing down Tef. Tef has gotten exceptionally low. He's not able to actually join in on this fight. He's trying to get away. The Infernal Mega Bomb is going to take him out as we see that there's just nowhere for him to escape. This is going to be Church of Alfonso giving the last rites to Blue Bayou as they shred through them. Diana trying to be the heretic that she is, but is not able to finish it off. But we've got the TP coming down now as we have Ziggs doing what Ziggs does best and taking out the objectives.
I mean, that's going to be that. Oh, okay.
Oh, good job, Jaffe took it out Sejuani, but it's going to be way too late as this Nexus is going to fall.
Oh, I don't know what to say, man. That's a lot. We said this in draft. That's a lot of AoE damage coming out. A lot of ultimates.
And I was saying that once that the Church of Alfonso had the timer on their side, like they had the Ziggs, they had the Gangplank, both of those champions, if you let them get to late game, they will annihilate you. It does not matter how tanky you are.
Indeed. Let's look at the damage. Oh, that's a lot of damage. Oh. That's double anyone else. Just about, by the way.
I don't think Flex Tape's gonna fix that one.
No, that's I feel almost bad talking so much about RHC when he plays GP, but it is kind of his show. He does get to kind of steal. And I mean, let's be honest, like everyone on the side of COF, I mean, there were a lot of standout performances, really. I mean, I would say, you know, we got to see the sort of character we see from them in pretty much every game, which is Beshi just clowning around and then getting like a 5-man knock-up or something, and Cold Blaster doing his job, farming turrets, getting damage on where he needs it. Big shockwaves and glacial prisons coming out as well. On the other side,
I forget if CC is a stat we can actually look at on these boards right here, but I'm sure that if we were able to, then we would see that Alistair just was doing so much in terms of how much CC time was available. And it's absolutely ridiculous. And it's like, honestly, we should give BBZ some credit. They did a pretty good job. Diana was doing fantastic. Dax got some great dives and some great bannered hooks and whatnot, knockups.
Drake steal as well, man.
Drake steals. It's unfortunate that Blue Bayou, just like I said, they didn't have the timer on their side. They weren't able to put the snooze on that alarm quick enough.
And let's just say quickly that, of course, this is going to lock, I think, BBZ into 4th in the standings, where COF still have the opportunity to steal first, but it's a pretty tall ask because it does require, I think, both HBK and UB to lose. But we'll have to find out because HBK are playing just after this.
Right, so the COF win locks them in the top 3, so they're now permanently in the top 3. And the thing is, depending on how the UB HBK matchups go, they could theoretically take first place and take first seed. So
absolutely, yeah. So,
and Serenity Senate has actually given up a game to Taz. They've had to FF, which means that if Taz wins, then they
make playoffs.
Yeah, they might actually be making playoffs here.
Ooh, okay.
I'm trying to do the math in my head, so that'll be really exciting. We'll have to double check on that, and we'll be right back.
Yeah.
Hello, folks, and welcome back. We have Church of Alfonso's mid laner who just did some great work on the Orianna. Paytime just finished their game, picked up a nice win. They got paid, so I bet you are feeling pretty happy about that, aren't you?
Yeah, it was a pretty fun game. I feel like our team executed pretty well. You know, actually, we were a little bit out of practice and there were some comm issues, but it feels like we shored that up. So coming into tomorrow's game, we're pretty happy with what we were able to show today.
I was gonna say, like, how did you guys feel about this draft? Because looking at the two teams, it looked like BBZ had an opportunity early on finishing this game, and you guys kind of went for that late game timer with the Gangplank and the Ziggs. It definitely seems like it worked out for you, though.
I just felt like it was a good opportunity for us to not show anything further. Like we've been playing GP Ziggs for, I think we played it last week and maybe the week before.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like having an opportunity to be on champions that we're all comfortable with and just showing what we can do on it continuously. It both shows what we can do, but also makes it so we can hide strats that we'll use later in the playoffs.
Right. And this win is actually, it's a huge deal for you guys because by winning this, you've locked yourselves in the top 3. And depending on how these next games go with UB and HBK, there's a theoretical possibility you guys might actually take that first seed. So how do you feel about that?
I mean, we already had this as a W in the books. So like we're already thinking forward against how we're going to do against UB. We know they're without Jeff right now, but we still want to take them as seriously as we would if they did have them. So we're excited for tomorrow's game for sure.
Yeah, tomorrow's game is definitely going to be really, really exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing that. Is there anything in these upcoming playoffs that you're excited to see? Like any particular matchups that you're kind of like, this is going to be the one to make the big make or break moment?
I think for us, we just want to show that we could perform better than we did against UB last season. And then after that, I'm actually kind of scared of HBK. I think they're really strong. Looking forward to playing against them if we do end up seeing each other in the bracket.
I know that's going to be one of those really scary things. So before I let you go, you got anything you'd like to say?
No. Shout out to the team. Shout out to the broadcast. Shout out to you, Sharon. That's pretty much it.
Thank you. All right. Well, thank you so much, Pay Time. Just keep cashing those paychecks because obviously you're doing some good work with them, getting some good investments out of them. We will be taking a very quick break, folks, and we'll be right back. We've got HBK versus SKL coming up, so stick around.